It's on now. People can.
Hello, everyone. We are starting to see our participant joining the webinar. Please give us 1 more minute. We will wait for everyone to connect today. So give us 1 minute and we'll be starting our webinar. Thank you for joining us. Hello, everyone. I think we can start right now. Thank you, everyone, for joining our webinar today. Thank you for connecting. This is our first info session on Challenge My City Call for Proposal. My name is Natalia Gozdur. I'm City Projects Manager in the Market Development Team in EIT Urban Mobility. And I'll be hosting this session together with Filipa Corais, Urban Mobility Director from the City of Braga. Thank you for being with us. And my colleague, Anlo Aslanyan, Program Officer in the PMO department in EIT Urban Mobility. And she will be giving us a lot more details on the procedure of application. So thank you again. Happy to start. Just some housekeeping messages. We will be recording this session. So people that cannot attend today or we are not able to stay to the very end of the session will be able to go back to see the information provided. Please mute your mics. Yeah, feel free to add your questions in the chat box of Q&A, and we will be replying to those questions through the session, and also in the last part of the session, in the last 15 minutes, we will have the Q&A open session in this webinar. So as for the agenda of today, in the session, in the first half an hour, we'll provide you some general information, the aim, objectives of the call, and also then Filipa will introduce you to the challenges of the City of Braga. And as I mentioned, Anlo later on will give us some details on general procedure, which is the call calendar, evaluation process, partner registration process, financial aspects of the call, etc., etc. So, okay, let's start. Hopefully you're all there. Some overview for those who do not know us that well. EIT Urban Mobility is an initiative of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, and we are a leading European innovation community for urban mobility. We facilitate collaboration between the cities, universities, research center, companies, startups, etc., etc., to solve the most pressing mobility challenges in the European cities. So we are using the cities as living labs to demonstrate how technology can work to solve their real problems in a more sustainable way. So as you can see, we are a large network for collaborating with more than 300 organizations. Regarding our focus area, as you can see within the EIT urban mobility, we work in different lines. We have dedicated projects and actions to connect private and public sector. We work on bringing talent to business by fostering entrepreneurship through practical learning. We also invest in innovative mobility solution and companies, but we also are working to bring the innovation to the market. And this is where the Challenge My City program falls within. So the Challenge My City is one of our programs. It's a program to connect European cities with innovative solutions that can help them to tackle their urban mobility challenges. We help to test, evaluate, and hopefully scale successful solutions within those cities in the European market. It's also all about bringing the existing innovation to the market a bit faster. To give you some details on the process in the overview of Challenge My City on how we work, this is a program that usually lasts around 12 months. First, we analyze the needs of the city to identify its urban mobility challenges. This is the process that we did with the city of Braga in the month of February. Later on, we launch those challenges to the market to find innovative solutions. This is where we are now. We are looking for innovators out there to apply to our call for proposals. Later on, we will choose 3 innovative solutions that will be tested and will be funded through our program. And they will be tested in the city of Braga. That will happen around June, July. Also during the testing and the pilot phase that usually lasts around 6 months, we are trying to involve citizens, the end user, so we are making sure that that your solution is tested by end users and that it works for the city and for its citizens. The final but not, but very important part also is the evaluation process. We are aiming at providing impact assessment to the city, but also to you as an innovative solution provider, so you can understand the viability of the integration of your solution in the city for the long term. So the idea is that the city can understand that your solution works through that pilot and that it could be potentially deployed within the whole city or bigger area. Okay, now going to the important part, what we are looking for. So we are looking for market-ready innovative solutions that can help Braga for its mobility challenges. And here you can see the 4 challenges that we've defined with the city. So the challenge 8, enhancing bike safety and monitoring cyclist flows. Challenge B is about understanding and promoting active mobility in the city center. Challenge C is about improving monitoring and use of on-street parking spaces. And the last but not least, encouraging alternative transportation for school commuting to decrease the use of private car. So here I'm just mentioning the 4 of them. Later on, Filipa will be explaining them more in detail and also mentioning possible pilot areas within the city. So if you think that your solution can suit into more than 1 challenges, it's fine to apply for both of them. However, we are asking you to apply with separate applications. So they are part that probably you will be able to reuse. However, each proposal submitted is expected to address 1 single challenge. Obviously, different metrics would be applied for the bike safety, or different metrics would be applied for the active mobility in the city center. Regarding who can apply, I think as we invite all the participants or all types of applicants to apply to our call for proposals. We are looking for applicants being companies, startups, SMEs, large companies located in the member state of the European Union, or from the 3rd country associated to Horizon Europe. You can check the countries associated to Horizon Europe on the European Commission website. We are looking for solutions that are innovative, but also that are result-oriented, so that we can measure the results and the impact of your solution applied to the specific challenge. One more important thing to mention, that the solution should propose a financial sustainability mechanism to the EIT urban mobility. It's something that we will be explaining later on a bit more in details. For those of you who are more familiar with our programs, it doesn't sound that unfamiliar, but we will give you some more details soon. Another important thing to mention is that we are looking for solutions that are at least on the technology readiness level 7. So those are the solutions that were previously tested through a pilot. And we are also asking within the application to prove it via a letter of recommendation from that previous pilot. So this is something to keep in mind while you are considering your application to this call. Of course, just as something additional, the proposal should be in line with our vision and mission. This document, you can find it on the call website, so you can refer to that document within your application. What are the benefits for the solution? So I think this is an important part. So what we are offering for the solutions for the successful applicants, the ones that will win this call for proposals, we are offering up to 60,000 euros in funding to implement a 6-month pilot project in the city of Braga. We are also offering full support from our side, from the EIT Urban Mobility, but also support from the city official to make the pilot work, to make it happen, to make it successful. Apart from that, we are offering the promotion of your solution in the mobility innovation marketplace, which means that your solution will be promoted in the European level. Something that I think it's an added value in this call, it's the impact assessment, what I mentioned. It's an impact assessment for the city. So we are assessing your solution and its impact on social, economical, but also environmental side. And we are sharing this impact assessment with the city, but it's also something valuable for you as a proof of your solution being successful and having those this recorded impact that you can later on use as a success story. About the proposal itself, what do we expect to write in this proposal? So the proposal should be concise. It doesn't have to be long. Sometimes less information, but more concise is better than long descriptions. So we are asking you to describe a high-level execution activities to implement the solution, the timeline, budget, breakdown, roles of the team in charge of the implementation. We also want you to, want to know your performance metrics. So as we will later running on this impact assessment, we want to know what are the data that you can provide, that you can share, the data that you are planning to collect. And we want you to propose that metrics. However, I need to mention that later on in the process, those metrics can be adjusted. I mean, once you are selected, then we will sit together with the city and adjust some of the metrics proposed. Another important aspect is marketing and end user engagement plan. It's something important for us because we think that we should communicate well to the end users, the pilot that we are planning to do in the city to maximize the impact. If there are solutions that needed to be tested by the end users, it's really important that you propose how to engage with them, even though we will also be supporting you in this process. Something beyond the description of the activities, are the key performance indicators. Something that if you haven't worked with us before might sound new for you, but we as a EIT Urban Mobility, we have defined some KPIs that you can check in details in the call website. There is a document there, you can further consult them, but those two that you can see in the presentation right now are the ones that you have to include in your proposal. There will be a section also, and Laura later on will be explaining it a bit more in detail, but those are two mandatory KPIs that you should include in your proposal. So it's an innovation pilot scaling and marketed innovation. Those two KPIs should have a value of 1. As we are doing one pilot and with one solutions, it should be covered by the proposal. So it's something standard, but this is what we ask you to fill in through your presentation, through your proposal. Okay, so regarding the financial sustainability mechanism, what does it mean? So we are asking for return for our funding. So each selected project, it's expected to generate a return to EIT Urban Mobility financial sustainability. So all the proposals submitted should include the commitment to that. And this return can happen in different ways. In case of startups, we are asking for equity in exchange of our funding. And for other types of company, we are asking for revenue share on future sales. And that in both cases would be negotiated once the proposal is selected. So in the proposal phase, you need to define this, but later on, we will be negotiating on that to see which alternative is the most suitable for each case. There are also some mandatory deliverables. So when you are thinking on the pilot, when you're putting your proposal together, those are the 4 mandatory deliverables that we defined for each of the 4 challenges. And as you can see, there is a report including technical requirements. If you already implemented the pilot before, you should have it already. So as you can see in the week 1 or at the very start of the project, we are almost expecting that to have. This report should also include the definition of the final agreed metrics, data collected during the pilot implementation, etc., etc. So this is like the initial document that we should have it by the first week of the project. Then the second deliverable is the commercial agreement. We are providing a template. It's just an agreement on this financial sustainability mechanism that I've mentioned before, and to establish some specific rights and obligation between different parties involved in that project. Deliverable number 4, it's about the raw data set collected during the pilot. So we are asking you for this data in order for us to run the impact assessment of your pilot and assess and evaluate the results. So those numbers are important to include because we need to know what we are going to be measuring, and then on the month 4 you are providing those data and we are running impact assessment on that. The last but not least, final performance report. This is at the end of the project. As you can see, we are mentioning on the month 4th. It's a final report describing the pilot implementation, outcomes, results, achievement by KPIs, etc., etc. This is the final deliverable that will be ending and closing the project. So it's important that you provide us with all 4 deliverables within the pilot duration, and those deliverables are connected with the payments, but this is something also that Anlo will mention briefly soon. So just to recap, we have 4 urban mobility challenges with the city of Braga within this call for proposals, and we will be only funding 3 best proposals. So we are looking for 3 projects to be funded. Each project will be funded with a maximum of 60,000 euros. And we are also, something to have in mind, we are asking for co-funding, so you should reflect the co-funding of minimum 15% of the total cost in your proposals. But this is also something that we can discuss in the third part of this webinar with Anlo. And also, please, whenever you have question, if you decide to apply, when you are preparing your proposal, we are here. The whole city, Challenge My City team is here to help you and support in the application process. And now I will pass the word to Filipa Corais, the Urban Mobility Director of the City of Braga, so she can give us some more details on each challenge. Yeah, Filipa, the floor is yours. So
thank you, Natalia. Good morning. My name is Filipa Corais, and on behalf of the Municipality of Braga, I thank you for your presence in this session. We will start this presentation with a brief introduction about the city of Braga. The city is located in the north of Portugal. The municipality covers a vast area of approximately 200 square kilometers. It has about 200,000 inhabitants, and most of the population lives near the city center. In the context of northern Portugal, Braga is a polarizing city for its ability to attract people to work and study. If we consider the four cities that aggregate the urban quadrilateral, that besides Braga is composed by Guimarães, Famalicão, and Barcelos, we can count with a population of 600,000 inhabitants. But if we consider the territory that articulates directly with these cities, we cover a territorial area of about 1 million inhabitants, which sets Braga in a competitive position with the European map. Next slide, please. The city of Braga has good topographic conditions and special distribution of attractors and distributors of mobility that can be an incentive to the promotion of soft modes. Most of the population in Braga resides less than 20 minutes away on foot or bicycle from the city center and to the main poles of mobility. The plan we now see illustrates the distance time from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes and to 20 minutes, with origin in City Hall, bus terminal, and railway station. In these perimeters are located several relevant schools, cultural and administrative equipments, which proves that the city of Braga meets all the necessary conditions to ensure the promotion of pedestrian mobility within the 15-minute city framework. Next slide, please. Regarding the modal split, the predominant mode in Braga is the individual transport, but the municipality has the clear intention of reversing this situation by promoting active modes. Next slide, please. The Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan of Braga has 5 strategic goals. 1, the walkable city, the cyclable city, the promotion of public transportation, the optimization of the road system, the balance of urban logistic actions. And 3 transversal goals: the integration of transport modes, the integration of mobility with land use, the improvement of quality of the urban environment. And the SAMP also has the systematic objective of encourage the behavior change and use of sustainable modes through information, communication, and education. Next slide, please. Aligned with these goals and within the Challenge My City framework, we propose 4 challenges. The city is exploring ways to enhance bike safety and monitor bike flows on shared traffic lanes. By implementing additional safety measures and better understanding cyclist behavior and mobility patterns, Braga can create a more friendly environment for cyclists and reduce the risk of accidents. The city welcomes innovative solutions that can address the following, but are not limited to: the monitoring the use of share lanes to provide insights to the city mobility planners and inform the road users, solutions that can enhance safety throughout the utilization of intelligent signaling devices, novel lighting techniques, systems to measure bicycle and vehicle speeds with sensors or comparable intelligent solutions. Next slide. The SAMP of Braga defined a cycling network that connected the various attracting poles and mobility generators, such as university, student residence, schools, railway station, among others. Next slide, please. The goal is to develop a pilot project on the two axes illustrated on this map. In the north-south axis on a road share with cars related with the Avenida 31 de Janeiro, and in the east-west axis on the Ecovia on path share with pedestrians. Next slide, please. As a second challenge, we seek for a pilot to promote active modes in the city center. This pilot is aligned with our goals for the walkable city within the 15 minutes framework. Proposals are requested to focus on areas such as collection and visualization of pedestrian and cyclist traffic flow data, which can be used to inform city planning and design decisions. Additionally, tools to gather feedback reports from citizens to better understand the constraints, needs, and mobility preference of Braga citizens. Predicting active mobility Predicting active mobility in the city center to anticipate pedestrian flow patterns, providing citizens with real-time information and recommendations on walking routes to navigate the city center more efficiently. Incentivizing active mobility throughout gamification, and on-street and the digital signage system to provide information, improving connectivity and visibility in public space. Next slide. For this pilot, our goal is to focus on the route between the train station and the University of Minho facilities. Next slide, please. The third challenge is related with monitoring and use on street parking space. For this, we seek innovative tech-based solutions to inform citizens how to find available on-street parking spaces, while also helping the city to monitor, gain insights, and manage limited time paid parking zones in the city center. The proposed solutions should be capable of detecting parked vehicles and allowing drivers to locate available parking spaces quickly through a mobile app or other tools. Furthermore, the solution proposed should assist the city in monitoring and managing parking occupancy rates, as well as identify parking behavior patterns which can provide supporting data for future curbside policy decisions. The city aims to improve the parking experience while maintaining privacy and security. Next slide, please. Yes. This map represents the streets that currently have concessionary parking. Next slide, please. For the last challenge, we seek for solutions to encouraging alternative transportation for school commuting. The municipality has already undertaken several initiatives to promote behavioral change and alternatives to private car transportation, such as the school bus, a cycling to school train, and the pedibus. Currently, the city is seeking innovative technological solutions to improve, optimize, and enhance the use of sustainable modes of transportation to go to school, reduce reliance on private cars, and alleviate traffic congestion in city center. To this end, potential solutions may focus on optimizing bus schedules and routes based on user needs, providing effective communication tools for parents and schools and municipalities, implementing real-time tracking and monitoring, developing on-demand transport management systems, offering a carpooling solutions for parents. Next slide, please. We think the pilot solution could be implemented in collaboration with schools currently involved with the municipality in the referred projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Filipa, for that insights. You have a longer challenge definition text included in the call manual. Call manual is an important document available on our website, on the call for proposal website. So please, if you have any more doubts on each of the challenges, you can see a bit of more description there. Thank you again, Filipa. And now I will pass the word to my colleague Anlo, so she can give us some insight on the procedure. So Anlo, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Natalia. So I'm going to give you some practical information regarding call calendar, our evaluation process, and at the end, some also tips regarding the proposal submission that we actually use an online submission platform. This is a little bit different from last year if you already apply to this call for proposal. So I'm going to give you some practical tips and a demo in live. So call calendar in terms of key dates, I think this is for you good to remind, to have this in mind, that the call actually opened on the 7th of March 2023 and will close actually on the 8th of May 2023 at 4 o'clock Barcelona time. This is really, really important, because if you're not very familiar with our funding program or with our call for proposals, if you submit a proposal after this exact hour, actually you will be not eligible. Okay, so please take into consideration and don't wait until the end to submit your proposal. So whenever all the proposals are submitted on time, we will go through an admissibility and eligibility check regarding some criteria that I will show you later during the month of May. All the proposal we actually are eligible and admissible, we go to the quality evaluation. Actually, your proposal will be evaluated by independent experts on phase 1. And if the proposal is successful in phase 1, they will go to phase 2, which is the pitch. And this will happen during the month of June. Afterwards, a communication to the applicants together with the conditions clearing phase. What does it mean to the successful applicant? We will go into a negotiation with you to go through some recommendation and strategic conditions to comply before the final selection and the onboarding and the contracting by the end of July, beginning of August, so the project can start. These dates are indicative, and of course they can change a little bit slightly according to the process and depending on how many proposals we're going to receive, but at least please take into consideration at least the deadline, which is 8th of May at 5 o'clock Barcelona time. And this is the first step for the evaluation and selection process. As I said before, if your proposal is submitted correctly on time, we will go through this check on 8 different criteria, which you can actually see a little bit more in depth in the section 5 of the call manual. All right, so completeness, as I said, on time, using the Plaza submission tool and in English. Application registration, I will go a little bit further in a little bit more in details afterwards, but you need to be validated. You need to have a PIC number, so participant identification code, and be registered in Plaza as well. You also need to be eligible, as Natalia said, so be any type of enterprises, startup, SME, or large company coming from a member state or a third associated country. KPIs are also mandatory, so at least these 2, number of marketed innovation, at least 1, and another 1 on number of innovation pilot scaling. So also mandatory. The co-funding rate, we also ask you 15%, letter of recommendation, pitch deck, that also are mandatory at this stage, and finally including the 4 deliverables in your application. So when we do this exercise, if you comply and you comply with all these different 8 criteria, we can move to the next step, which is the evaluation, the quality evaluation of your proposal. It will be evaluated, assessed by 3 different experts. We go through some pre-defined evaluation criteria, again, that you can go to section 5 of the call manual and look into that. This is something we highly recommend you to understand actually how to each criteria there is a score proposal. This quality evaluation will end up with a summary two proposal, if you can click, Natalia, please, will actually two proposal per challenge. I'm
not sure if all the participants feel the same, but we are losing you on Laura in some moments. So
I'm sorry. Okay.
Maybe, yeah, if maybe you can disable the camera, maybe we'll hear you better. Sorry for that.
Actually, so phase one quite.
And Laura, I think still we cannot hear you very well.
Oh.
There are some problems. Hopefully we can solve it quickly.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I'm not sure, Marta, if we are getting some comments from the participants. I think there are some problems on Laura in this stage. Maybe if you can change the network, let's try. Hopefully, if not, I'll try to take over so the participant can get familiarized with the process.
And now,
no, don't think so.
Oh, okay.
So if you can maybe reconnect, we will try to keep on with the presentation. And when maybe you can try to reconnect your network. So as Anlo mentioned, maybe I will not be able to give you so many details, but I'll definitely try to go through the process. So there is a second phase evaluation, which is, this phase, it's where the two top rated proposals per challenge will be, the top scored proposals from the phase one will be invited to do the pitch, the presentation pitch to the selection committee, and this committee will be the one who will be granting the proposals, one per each challenge. So there are two proposals that are going to this final stage, and one of those proposals will be hopefully awarded the grant. There is also a phase of condition clearing. That is something that we are internally obliged. The project leader will receive the evaluation results, the evaluation report, score obtained during the pitch, and if the proposal is selected, those results will include the set of conditions and recommendations. So after those conditions are fulfilled, the onboarding and contracting phase begins, and the project can start. Once this phase is over, it's just some clearing and agreeing mutually on all the conditions of the contract before we start the project.
Hello, Natalia. Sorry, can you hear me well now?
I think it might be better right now. Yeah,
okay,
Anna. Okay,
really...
so please take over for the lump sum budget.
Yes, sure. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I think most of you have read that we are implementing this lump sum budget. So this is a new pilot that we are implementing now in some of our calls for proposals this year. So what does it mean? That we are giving actually a fixed amount of 60,000 euros per selected project, okay? And why we are doing this? Actually, this is to simplify the process that we know when you implement your project, there is a time-consuming financial reporting that we want to avoid, especially for you as a small organization or newcomers. You are maybe not very familiar with our EU funding program. So we want to kind of simplify the workload, and this will mean removing obligation during the final financial audit. So you won't be able to, you will not need actually to justify a cost during the project implementation. We will give 60,000 euros, provided that your deliverables are validated and submitted to us, okay? And that's why we don't ask you, detailed explanation on your cost during the implementation, and you can focus more on the content of your work, okay? Having said that, we still need to understand how you're going to actually divide your work and split your cost estimation in the budget. And this is what the evaluator will actually look into during the evaluation process. This is why you need to prepare your budget based on eligible actual costs, all right, and provide a detailed breakdown of your cost per deliverables and per partner, provided that you are more than one partner submitting the project, okay? And of course, if you are a single entity applying to this call for proposal, of course, you will just give your budget cost estimation per deliverable. So the costs are like any other European program. So you have the direct cost directly linked to the project implementation, personnel, subcontracting, travel and subsistence, equipment, and other goods and services, and indirect costs, which are an automatic percentage of 25% on top of your personnel, travel, equipment, and other goods and services, all right? As Natalia said before, on top of that, you will need to provide a 15% of co-funding on the total cost of your project, okay? And of course, your budget needs to be reasonable, not excessive, necessary for the activity proposed. Next slide, please. Yes. So how to actually prepare your budget? We have prepared for you, and you will see in the next days, a template, a very simple template that you need to complete. It will be available on the call page to actually prepare your cost estimation and the share, as I said before, between the deliverables and the partners. In case actually you are applying alone, you can directly go to the step number 3. I will show you later. But if you're applying as a consortia, you will actually need to submit these short tables where you can see here there is actually the percentage of involvement per deliverables. We need to understand actually what is your contribution to each of the deliverables during the project implementation, and what's the value actually linked to that based on your costs, okay? And you can see actually in the table below, the same category, cost category, that we ask you to submit per year. Okay, so we assume the project will last during the 2023. And in this case, we need to understand how much are you allocated to personnel, subcontracting, etc. Whenever you will see the template, there is a first tab with some instruction. If you get a bit lost, of course, we are here to help you. If you have any questions, any doubt during the process, feel free. But the second step will be actually to upload this Excel file in the online submission tool Plaza. I will show you later a practical exercise. Tab number 5, this is where actually you need to upload this Excel. Again, provided that you are applying with several entities at the same time. Next slide. And the final step will be actually to complete this tab 5, which is nothing more than just copy paste numbers into the platform, but this is, we actually need this to do the follow-up of the evaluation support, and to also send some statistics to the European Commission. This is actually why we're asking you to copy paste this information here. But this is especially important when you are more than one partner, because we also want to see all the details in this submission tool Plaza. So the next slide will show you actually what you will see when you click on when you enter your company in the budget line. Natalia, if you can go to the next slide. This is what you will see basically. So the responsible partner, you will see your code because you will be previously registered in our platform. The person responsible, which is also part of the registration phase, and then you put your different cost link next to each cost category, and your amount of co-funding, which is basically your own resources, something which is not from EIT sources directly, that you actually bring into the project, all right? And finally, just a very short justification of what's the personnel involved in the project, what are you actually allocated travel and subsistence, other goods and services, etc. Just a justification in general terms, not necessarily per partner, but just a general Payment schedules, I think we have received some questions related to that. So we actually apply, even in doing this lump sum mechanism, we are actually applying our standard payment schedule, meaning if you are successful, you will either receive 1 or 2 payments, depending on the type of entity you represent. So if you're a startup or an SME, you will receive a pre-financing at the beginning, so up to 20% of the total funding allocation after the signature of the contract. Okay, and the final payment, so the difference, payment of the balance, either 100% in case there is no pre-financing, if you are a large company, for instance, or up to 80% if the pre-financing was paid. Okay, provided, of course, that all the mandatory deliverables are declared as fully completed and approved by EIT Urban Mobility staff. So where to start, what to do? The first step actually to start a process, even though you are not pretty sure that you would like to submit, but at least you can do this step, the panel registration process. The registration is already open. It takes very short, very few minutes, and this will give you the possibility to enter the application form, save as a draft, and you can even, as I said, not do the submission, but at least you are in the system. This step is done, and don't wait until the end. So the very first step is actually to obtain your PIC. As I said before, the PIC is the participant identification code. This is a mandatory step that the European Commission is actually asking to have for any entity applying to any European funding. So most likely you probably have already this PIC number if you have already participated in a program or applying to a European call for proposal. If you don't, please register. You go into this link, Funding and Tender Opportunities portal, and you get a PIC number. It's gonna take you only 10 minutes, really, I can tell you. And this will give you the chance to go to the next step, which is a registration in our submission tool. Can you go back? Yes. So registration in Plaza, actually, this is again our submission, online submission tool. Here you need to register your organization. The same, it's one form, very simple information to fill in. And you will need to register your organization. This takes 2 working days because this needs approval from our site. So please, as I said, register as soon as possible. And remember that this registration will close 2 days before the deadline. We will explain all of that a little bit more in details in a document guideline for applicants that will be also available in the website very soon. And the third step is actually to complete your PIF, Partner Information Form. Once your registration is done, is approved by EIT Urban Mobility, you will be able to actually complete who is the person of contact, what is your legal status as a company, what is the legal representative, the bank details, etc. So this is really important because if I remember, it's one of the criteria of admissibility and eligibility check. Okay, so you really, really need to complete all these steps and have your PIF completed as a whole in order to be eligible for this call. So it's not really a lot of work, it's just that you need to follow the step and fill in the information that is requested. And if you have any question again during the process, we are happy to help you at any time. The message here is really don't wait until the end, because as I said, there is an approval that needs to be made by our services, and it can take a little bit more if you are closer to the deadline. So you can already do it by today if you are already interested in this program. Next slide, sorry. And this is actually where, when you're registered in our platform, this is where actually you will be able to submit, or at least to create a draft proposal in our online submission tool named Plaza. I'm going to show you now in live a short demonstration so you can see how the application looks like and what are the steps to follow in order to submit your proposal. So you will see basically this screen, and I'm going to now show you in live. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. Yes, Natalia? Super. So as I said, whenever you are registered, you will be able to enter and you will see this interface in front of you. So you will go into call for proposals, you select Challenge My City Braga 2023, you log in, And this is why you will be able, you won't see all that list because I have admin right here, but you will actually need to add a new proposal and create now. So for this training, I have actually created already one, so I'm going to edit it and looking with you all the main steps that you need to follow in order to submit your proposal, or at least to create a draft. So this is start here. This is a step number 0. The very first thing you need to actually do is, I'm going to edit, is to select the market development area. Okay, this is going to be the first step. Please disregard the other area. Your correct area is market innovation, market development, sorry. And this is actually give you, you will directly select challenge my city Braga. That's the only option, so that's quite easy. And the segment 6.7, the same. Then you put your activity title. It's, you know, a short description of your project, the activity acronym, something very short and to remember, and then the start and end date of your project, most likely to be August until December this year, and an activity description for dissemination purposes. In case you are selected, we're going to use this information for the public to explain what your project is about. You always need to do save first, all right, in order to be able to go to the next step. So save first and then check and save. Afterwards, you can see there is a green check here, and you can continue with the following tab. So this one is actually about you as an applicant, your contact details. So as I said before, you will be registered in our services. Okay, so thanks to that, you will be able to look into your organization, who you are. So from the list, you select the name of your company and the activity leader, the person contact from your company that will be involved in this project. Lead partner, what does it mean? That means that it's the main applicant, basically. Okay, but in case you are more than one company applying to this program, you will need to choose one of them, or one of them being the coordinator, being the lead of this activity, of this project. Okay, so you decide internally who will be this person or this company, and this company will be the one applying and submitting the proposal on behalf of the others. Okay, so but this means that all the entity involved will need to be also registered in the system, because here, as you can see, you can edit and you can add new partners. Okay, so important that all the entities involved are pre-registered in the system. All right, and then you will continue with the following step: activity overviews. This is where actually you will describe your activity, the purpose, the scope, the impact. I would like to draw your attention to actually the key deliverables, for instance. So you always go here to edit. You click on edit whenever you would like to edit this. You can see it's pre-filled. There is already some information in there, just so you can take a look at it. So key deliverables, as you remember, Natalia represented the 4 deliverables, mandatory deliverables. So whenever you want to add once, you will click on it, and then you will actually put a title, a short description, that could be the same, and the expected delivery date based also on the call manual. You can take a look and see where this needs to be done and save. Okay. The same goes with the KPIs. That's also important to, I mean, as a mandatory field and as a mandatory requirements in this call, to actually add at least 1 target for market innovation in 2023 and 1 for innovation pilot scaling also in 2023. Here, you will probably need to, we can do a test. Always need to, sorry, check and save and edit whenever you are making some changes. So we click on it. You can see here the window, and I'm gonna add innovation. Let's see. Oh, okay, sure. I cannot. Let's see, this one is not a mandatory one, but it's just so you know. You will need to add 1 here and a 0 in 2024 and 2025. The system is predefined like that, so we cannot change it. But please take a click on to put a 0 next to 24 and 25 and put a save. Okay, and it will display here in the screen. And then you continue with the rest of the section. I'm not going to go into the details because you will have time to check, and we can always answer your questions. Activity-specific information is really about some predefined keywords that define actually and describe your proposal and the scope of your activity, and then some specific question actually related to the call for proposal. So, you know, in line with the strategic objective, innovativeness of your proposal, of your solutions, some metrics, performance, etc. And here you can actually submit some supporting files, some illustration, photos, work plan, Excel, something that you would like to add, and that the system cannot allow because, of course, there are some predefined fields. Sustainability, this is related to what Natalia was presented before about the mechanism, financial support mechanism. So you will actually need to also edit and actually submit the information, what you're actually choosing, and the budget. So I'm not going to go into the details, you show the slide, but if you are more than one partner, please submit the Excel file just here, and then you go into, you create per partner, actually one window, and you copy paste the amount of the personnel, subcontracted, etc., and the co-funding. You always save, and then you do a save and check, and it's validated. And finally, the supporting file. So here, remember, there is a couple of documents mandatory at that stage before the submission, which is the letter of recommendation for the previous pilot, but also the pitch deck. So please put everything together in one file and submit it here as a supporting file, that so we make sure everything is in the system before the deadline, actually. So that's all for, and of course, when you've done that, you go back to your list, you go back, sorry, to your proposal, to the code. You will see one proposal or more if you are applying to more than one challenge, and you submit, all right? Again, right before the deadline, right before the time, and you can submit only once, single time, okay? That's important to remember. So I'm gonna go back actually to, it's all from my side. I'm gonna go back to the presentation. I'm just leaving here some useful links and contact details in case, you know, you need to contact the European Commission when you're requesting your PIC number, if it's needed, our service deck for the PLAFA online platform, and of course you have the link of the call information package with all the different, the call manual and all the different annexes, and the contact details of the team of market development and PMO. So I think now it's the time for the questions.
Thank you, Anlo. Yeah, we are good with time. As you can see, our colleague Marta, but also myself, we've been answering to your questions on the go. So you can see them, you can see our answers there, but also I saw there is there's a request to put together some of those and maybe publish on our website. We will try to do it. We will try to group your questions and write them down and publish on our website. However, there are some of the question I'd like to respond in a group manner. So there is also a question on if we will be sharing those slides and the presentation, the recording of this presentation. Yes, we will share it on the call website as well. So you will be able to go back and see all the steps. Also, there are some questions on the equity shares and revenue shares and how those mechanism works. What we can say right now is that all the applicants should include the proposal for this financial sustainability model. However, you know, and you suggest if there is this equity or revenue share. However, the exact characteristic of this financial sustainability mechanism will be negotiated case by case once you are selected. So it's a case-by-case base negotiation, especially for the equity shares. And there was also a question regarding if the startup can choose revenue share as a financial sustainability model. Yes, I think there is no problem. Also, later on we can we can discuss if equity potentially will be something interested for that winning startup as well. So it's not that the option is closed, but we are asking you to propose this information through your proposals. So those are some of the questions that we can answer right now. We've been answering on the go. And no, I don't know if there is any other question that we can target right now.
I'm actually checking the chat. I mean, most of them have been already answered, and I think, as we said, we will share the PPT, the recording link as well. And probably it was a lot of information regarding the process and the application form. We can understand. So this is why we are, of course, really at your disposal in case you have any doubt, any questions during the application process. Okay, we will be happy to help you and to guide you in these steps.
Yeah, there are some questions about can you elaborate about the co-funding from the startups? I think the co-funding rate, it's same, minimal co-funding rate is the same for all the applicants. So it's 15%. I don't know if you want to add something more on that.
Yes, absolutely. So it's going to be, it's a total of 15% of your total cost, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're a startup or an SME or a large company, the percentage is the same. You can go a little bit more than 15%. It's up to you, and it will be positively actually assessed by the selection committee if you go until the end of the process after the pitch. And by co-funding, we actually mean on resources from the company, okay, or any other project which is not actually funded by EIT Urban Mobility. So I think I hope I answer the questions. And as we said, we are.
There is one more that Anlo maybe you can address. Someone is asking if our proposals will be selected and we will need to go to Braga and apply the system and test it. In this case, will there be any other budget for these costs, or do we include this cost in the 60K fundings?
Okay, so if you're actually selected and you will need to travel to Braga for whenever you sign the contract, and after the selection, this cost will be included inside the 30K of funding. Okay, so everything will be let's say in the package of the lump sum of 60K. This will be part of your project implementation, and we are not going to ask you about, as we said before, invoices or justification. This will be the total amount that we will give you, provided that at the end you actually submit the deliverables, etc.
There are also some questions that I've answered, but in case you haven't seen, there are questions regarding if the solution is suitable for two challenges, if the solution will be evaluated better or will have a positive evaluation. So each proposal for each challenge will be evaluated separately. So you can have a solution that might apply to different challenges. However, you should submit two different proposals. I mean, part of them could probably be reused. However, probably metrics are not going to be the same for the bike safety as for the monitoring of the active mobility challenge. So we would suggest, I mean, it's something that you have to do, the two submissions to each for a different challenge. So on the go, I see also my colleague Marta replying to you. I think we are going to, as I mentioned, we are going to put all together of the question and try to reply to the main of them. There are some that are repeating. And also there are some questions that I can see on if your solution is suitable, or that if we think that it's suitable. I mean, this is something we can discuss on the case by case. If you think that you are suitable for the challenge, or if you have some doubts, please contact us either on market development email that Anlo previously showed you. And I don't know if you can go back to the slide, maybe you can write down our email, or directly to myself, which is natalia.gozor@eiturbanmobility.eu. I will be also happy to reply on the case by case, and if you want, we can together discuss if there is a good fit of your solution into one of the challenges. Also to mention, and I don't want to open a discussion here, but there are some more challenges to come in following weeks. We are working with different cities. So if you are not suitable for this Challenge My City call for proposals, there are opportunities coming your way probably in other cities in Europe. So just mentioning that, so stay tuned for that. And we will be sharing with you we will be sharing the information with you.
I'm just seeing this question about, can a proposal build upon previous innovation experience in Braga? I think it was posted twice. I don't know, Natalia, if you already addressed this question.
I mean, obviously, we are asking for solutions that were tested before. So if there was a pilot or a project that was done in Braga, I don't know the context of that solution, but definitely if it's an innovation that could be added on top of a project that was already implemented in Braga, we are happy to receive that application as well. So whenever the proposal is addressing something new and it's result oriented, as we said, innovative, we are happy to have that proposal on board. There were some questions regarding if you don't have a letter of recommendation, however you have MVP, we are this is the letter of recommendation is something that it's required for that call. As you saw on Laura's presentation, you have to submit this letter of recommendation. If you tested your solution, even in a reduced environment, you can always ask a partner in that pilot project to give you that letter of recommendation that you could later on submit. However, please remember that we were asking for the technology readiness level 7 of solutions. So it depends on the readiness of the technology behind that MVP, if it can be eligible or not. So different requirements to take into account. However, if you have some specific questions, we are happy also to reply after the webinar on the case by case. Not sure if there are any other question, Anlo, that we can answer right now.
Yes, I can take another one, which is, can any company apply regardless of the previous and or current collaboration with EIT Urban Mobility? And the answer is yes. There is no criteria regarding whether you are an EIT Urban Mobility partners or not, a member of our community. So it's open to any company. Again, an SME, startup, or a large company based in the country that we mentioned before. So this one is okay. I'm just looking for the others.
Yeah, we have a question about the webinars for the next cities. So yes, we will be also providing webinar like this one once we have challenges for the next cities launched. For Larissa and Heraklion in Greece, it will be one specific webinar, and the Vitoria-Gasteiz, the city in Spain, we will be also doing a webinar later on. So those challenges are coming shortly. And we will be providing more information on that on the specific webinar.
Yes, actually the tentative date are already in the call manual. You can see if the date will change, we will notify it, of course, as soon as possible, but in principle, they are already in the call manual. You can take a look and register already, I think. Deadline for proposal. So actually it's the 8th of May. I think maybe I can go back to the previous slides. the first, so 8th of May 2023 at, as I said before, 5 o'clock Barcelona time. This is very important. After this hour, you will be able, you will be able maybe to submit your proposal, but it will be directly non-eligible. Okay, so please bear in mind this. And as I said before, registered in the portal in our Plaza platform as of today or in the following days if you are interested in this call. So then you can already take a look at the application. Don't wait until the end when there are sometimes some technical issue to manage. So
yes, and if you have some specific question regarding the context within the city, if you are looking for information regarding if there is a, I can see the question about if there is a car sharing service available in Braga, what operators provide the services. Those questions, I think we can answer them via email. I think that would be the best. Please drop us an email, and we will be able to provide specific answer to that question. I understand that, you know, there is some context that you want to know from the city. If you're not from Portugal, probably you will have more questions. So please feel free to reach us out via email, and we will be happy to reply and provide you with that context. And if we don't have that information, we will for sure be able to get that information from the city officials and from Filipa Corai's team. So I think, we can have some last questions maybe. So please write in the Q&A chat, because I think we can be closing the webinar soon. I think most of the questions were answered either on chat or live here by me or by Anlo. I don't see any new questions, so I think for today we can close the session. Thank you very much for coming, for joining and staying till the very end. Feel free to reach us out. As I mentioned, we are happy to support you. We know the process might be a bit confusing sometimes, but don't worry, we are here to help you, and we encourage you to submit your proposal. We are looking for the innovation that can help the city of Braga, and we are very excited to see your proposals and later on to develop the pilot projects with you. Also, please check our website for the previous experiences. We've been working with the city of Madrid. We've been working with the city of Toulouse and Milan in our previous editions. So you can also get inspired and you can see the pilot stories there. And yeah, hopefully, if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.